Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and on this channel lately we've been looking a lot at Spider-Man pieces, and in particular the Rogues Gallery of Spider-Man as made by Diamond Select and their Marvel Gallery PVC statue series. We've got the makings of the Sinister Six, and we've already looked at Kraven, we've got Electro coming soon, we did the Green Goblin not too long ago, and they've all been extremely impressive pieces. And today we continue that trend by taking a look at the latest member of Spidey's Rogues Gallery, and another founding member of the Sinister Six, and that would be this right here. This is the Diamond Select Marvel Gallery Dr. Octopus statue. This PVC piece is pretty darn enormous. It's not quite as big as the Green Goblin we looked at because that thing was just gargantuan, but this guy here is fairly large as well. He's got a lot of weight to him, pretty good amount of size, and I cannot wait to get him out of the box. But speaking of, let's talk about this packaging real quickly. And the nice thing about the Marvel Gallery pieces, and really all PVC statues from Diamond Select, is that they all have a lot of windows, so you could see right into the box and get a good look at everything that's going to be with this statue here. So we got a really great big window here on the front. Likewise, you've got window on each of the sides, and of course you have that handy dandy Diamond Select sunroof so you can really get in there. And honestly, if anybody needed a tan, it's Doc Ock. That guy needs to get out more. I also love this logo. This isn't really Doc Ock's logo. I feel like it's just a nice kind of retro font to let you really put some context into when this figure is from, because this kind of is meant to be an earlier look for Dr. Octopus. And likewise, this is not a Steve Ditko Spider-Man head, but it's pretty close. It kind of harkens to that iconography that you've seen back in the original 60s Spidey. The back of the box has a pretty decent bio about Dr. Otto Octavius, lets us know some good info about him. It also lets you know again that this is a PVC piece. We've got a great big image of the statue itself, and most importantly, we have credits to the folks who made this piece. And this was designed by Caesar and sculpted by Alterton. Caesar and Alterton are two of my favorites who are working on the Marvel Gallery pieces, or really any of the Diamond Select stuff. When you see their names, you know you're guaranteed some great quality, and so I have pretty high expectations for this Doc Ock piece. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, he's not exactly one of my favorite characters out there. Done some interesting things lately, but hey, I'll save that for a different video. But knowing that Caesar and Alterton did this, I know there's gonna be a lot of care, a lot of detail in this piece. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this Doc Ock out of the box and take a closer look at him from all angles. Alrighty, and here is our Doc Ock statue all unboxed, and it's a pretty big piece. I was not sure how big it was going to be, but yeah, it's not quite to the heights of the Green Goblin piece, but I can't actually fit it completely in the shot with the way I have my setup here. So yeah, just to give you guys a good look at everything that this statue has here, there's a lot in this. There's going to be a lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss. And I do want to point out, before we start going too deep here, I actually just want to measure this guy because, okay, yeah, so he is about a foot tall if we're counting the top of his tentacle there. He's about a full 12 inches tall, so that's a lot of Doc Ock. Let me give you guys a nice little rotation as we start to talk about things, and I'll probably do a little bit of a pan up and down as well, just so I can give you guys, the full gamut of this piece here from every angle, including that wonderful base, which I cannot wait to spend some more time talking about. But yeah, so, Diamond's been doing all the Rogues Gallery pieces here from Spidey's villains, and Doc Ock is joining them, kind of fleshing out the whole Sinister Six. And yeah, I wasn't expecting as much from Doc Ock. I like Doc Ock, but this is that real classic kind of look, and it's not one of my favorites, to be quite honest. And Otto Octavius has a lot of different looks, and they all range. But this is the real classic, real kind of chunky version of Otto, with his real old-fashioned kind of look to him. I was a little bit concerned whether or not I was going to like it, but it's definitely doing it for me. It's actually making him look a lot more menacing than I thought he would be here. So let's just spend some time now talking about the likeness of this piece here. I want to start over there and spend some time talking about this Doc Ock's head. And the question is, as I say in all these videos, does this look like Dr. Octopus? Is this the Doc Ock that we all know and love? And I'm going to say a yes to that. Like I said, I was a little bit worried about him being a little too goofy looking, but I think they definitely got the look of him here. And they also kind of maintained a nice comic book feel to it as well. So I'm really digging the face, because that feels like a classic Doc Ock face, doesn't it? This just, to me, screams Dr. Octopus's grimace, that kind of real angry face that he makes, and coupled to with the body language in his hand as well, which we'll get into. I think the head is perfect. He has that just stupid, awful bowl cut, which is signature Dr. Octopus. And they got it right here. That's actually a good thing. That is a positive, his stupid, stupid hair. I also want to show you guys the top of it too, just so you can kind of hopefully see all the detail there. But yeah, they really got it. It's the perfect scientist bowl cut. It's clearly, a guy who doesn't care about his hair because he's busy doing sciencey things. I also like the glasses and the way they kind of like, it's not just that they fit his head, it's how they wrap around his head and almost feel like it's a seamless part of his face. Because they are, and those are, again, those like real signature Doc Ock scientist glasses, the mad scientist look. So that's what they're going for here, I think, is that mad scientist look. And they absolutely got it. From the mouth to the glasses to the dumb AF hair, the little pudgy nose, and his very square, blobular head and face. Like, this is signature classic Doc Ock. This is what you're looking for if you're getting this piece. This is not a modern Doc Ock. This is classic, old school 60s Dr. Octopus. And likewise, too, so is this outfit here. I mean, this is, he's had a lot of different outfits over the years, from the lab coat to the green, which is what we're seeing here right now, to some other armored versions. And overall, I do like this outfit here as far as the body goes. For me, like the colors, I've always felt are a little bit too much, and that's not a slight to Diamond or what they're doing here. They're working with what they got. But really think about it here. It's this bright kind of green and a bright orange. These are two colors that really pop a lot. We're talking about Marvel in the 60s. They were all about those like real popping colors and bright colors, almost to the point of being obnoxious. And this Dr. Octopus, it definitely harkens back to those days. It absolutely borders on being a little too much. But in statue form, it's actually pretty well balanced for a number of reasons here. But yeah, as far as the body goes itself, though, I do like the pose. And keep in mind, he's like lifted in the air as he's posing, because this Dr. Octopus is up in the air thanks to his big ol' tentacles. So he's doing a lot right now. And let's see if I can pull out and get you the whole body. There we go. So the whole body, you can see here, he's definitely a chunky monkey. This is not a guy who's like a supervillain in terms of like working out, hitting the gym. He's a scientist, so all his work's gone up into the head, not the rest of his body, and you could see that because he's a very round, chunky figure. As far as like physicality goes, he is the least menacing of all of the Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery from that era, I would say. But what's cool is the intention in his pose and the intent of this piece, because yeah, the body, it's nothing to write home about. It's nothing he's going to be seeing in any Muscle Illustrated magazines, but the pose is where it's at. And this is like an action-filled pose. Like, he is thrusting himself forward, his hands are clutching the air, like it's all evil and menacing, but it's really all about the tentacles. It's really all about the tentacles here. And I'll show you guys the back again as well, so you can kind of just see like the tentacles are kind of living inside the suit here. You can't really see it as much. It's actually very well hidden. It's not like there's any like other parts that kind of like expose the octopus body, but they're basically just kind of like jutting out of his sides there. And yeah, these tentacles are doing a lot of the work here. I mean, they're literally what's lifting him off the ground after all. So it's all about the tentacles and what they're doing in this piece. And they're doing a lot of the work here, because also keep in mind the shape of his body here. This is a very rigid looking Dr. Octopus. The tentacles are so much more organic and flowing. They're kind of like a great juxtaposition to what Doc Ock is doing over here. And if we scroll down a little bit too, you'll also see what I'm talking about, because like I said, Dr. Octopus's pose, it's very, very stiff. And kind of mirroring that is what's in the base here. So if we zoom a little bit tighter on the base, you'll kind of see that there's all these like very hard linear shapes, like this stop sign, very much a rectangle. The fire hydrant, it's very vertical. It's just a one vertical straight line kind of coming out of the ground there. You can see it, and a really nicely sculpted piece as well. I like this hydrant. This is one of those pieces where I talk about Diamond really needs to sell their bases separately, and I think this is really one of those that would be really cool to have in other scales for other action figures. But even this like exploding water from another fire hydrant here from the underground, like even this, it's more curvy, which is kind of cool because it mirrors a lot of the curves of the tentacles that we're seeing with the piece here. But it's also kind of comes straight up. So that's what this piece is trying to accomplish here. It's very much a piece that's like linear and him coming up off the ground. So it's got to have a lot of different straight lines to help make that happen. And that's what all the stuff in the base is doing. That's what his body is doing. It's so rigid and stiff, but it's thanks to the organicness of the tentacles that we're getting a little bit more life and energy to it here, which is very nice all around. And I do really like that stop sign down here also. Can I talk about how much I like the stop sign? It's got individual colors too for each one of the lights. You got the red, yellow, and green. What a cool little addition that is. What a nice little Easter egg to include that in there. And likewise too, this like big chunk of water. I'm a fan of that also. Like, I like when Diamond includes these sort of transparent pieces of plastic in there to help make it kind of look different and pop a little more. This is a nice one here. This is fun. I like how this feels also. Speaking of texture too, I just realized like the boots and the gloves, they are a little bit of a different texture than the rest of his body. Like the rest of his outfit, you can even kind of see it. In fact, it's got this kind of like fabric look and feel to it, and it does have like the thinnest of lines to kind of add some more actual texture into it. But there we go. But the boots are this like much smoother material, so they feel like they're actually rubber. So it's kind of a cool, again, contrast to the textures and how light's going to hit it. And that's also kind of ties this piece together, I think, is the way they're using that, especially combined with the different texture of the Octopus arms, because even those, I mean, they are its own metallic kind of texture. They have a nice shiny luster to them. So there's a lot of different textures here, and we're not even really talking about the base as well, because, you know, we already talked about that, but the real rough textures here in this base. So there's a lot going on in this piece. It's a very complex piece with a lot of moving pieces, not literally, but a lot of moving pieces as far as elements go. And I think they really tied them together very nicely, you know, top to bottom. And I mean that because top to bottom, it's a pretty huge piece. So final thoughts on this Dr. Octopus statue here. You know, for me, this is a really great piece. It's one I wouldn't necessarily would have gone out my way to get at first glance, because I think the colors are just, you know, it's kind of gross, really. It's like orange and green. They're a little much, but they're also accurate to the character. And I think the way they're doing it here, it does work together really nicely. He's going to stand out amongst your rogues gallery, and definitely against Spider-Man, but that's actually what you want. You know, because if you want to get into color theory here as well, you know, orange and green, I believe, are both the opposite colors when we talk about Spidey's outfit. Have his primary colors of red and blue. Well, on the color wheel, orange and green, I believe, would be the ones that are opposite of that. So, you know, they're you know, green would actually make the red pop more, and likewise, blue and orange really help each other out a lot as well. So, you know, contrasting colors make it look really cool, and that's what this piece is about. This piece is about a lot of contrast, you know, from the round, organic shapes of the tentacles to his very stiff, linear pose, the rough base, the mechanical arms here. There's like so many different parts here to talk about with this piece, and like that's why I feel like I'm just talking on and on about it, because I'm actually surprised how much of this piece I really do enjoy. Likewise too, that base is one of their best. This is a great base. Diamond should be very proud about that one here. You know, Caesar, Alderton, as always, you guys do a bang up job. I rarely have to complain about anything that you guys do, and the proof is in the pudding, or in this case, the mad scientist Octopus Man. So if you'd like to pick up this Doc Ock for yourself, go ahead and check out the description for this video below. I'm going to have links to a few different places that you can pick them up, and if you use any of those links to make a purchase of this or anything, it helps support this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. And here's just one last quick look, albeit blurry, of our Dr. Octopus statue here. So yeah, that is our Doc Ock from Spider-Man, their Diamond Selects Marvel Gallery series. If you're a big Spidey fan and you've been collecting the other villainous pieces that go with it, I definitely suggest you don't miss out on this one here. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys here next time with more statue reviews, toy reviews, and everything else we do on this channel. See you guys later.